Get your scale figures at Big Bad Toy Store. Check out the link in the description down below. Kaiju, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It's Steven here, continuing the Metroid goodness with a review of Max Factory's scale figure of Samus in her Zero suit from Other M. This was released alongside the original Figma, and when announced, fans were rather mixed. We do have the power suit, but the Zero suit is out of scale in a completely different line. It's not a Figma. What? Though the different lines were undoubtedly bothersome, the question still does stand though. Is this statue any good? Or is it fixed figure? Or whatever term you're comfortable with, because people like some things and don't like others and they start to freak out. Yeah, anyway, let's take a look to see whether or not it's worth adding into your collection. First, we'll take a look at the box, which is rather nicely done. We have windows on all sides except the back with plenty of shots of Samus. Basic, but it gets the job done. Now, collectors, bear with me for a second. Grizzly, if you'd like, I'd prefer polar, but regardless, I have not really reviewed something like this before, and I'm gonna kind of wing it on structure of the review because, well, this is just meant to be a pretty thing to look at and not an action figure or a companion piece with a mother brain or a space pirate. So I can't be too creative with scenes, so we're just going to have to take a very close look at her to help you make up your mind. Thankfully, though, they did a great job on this one and made it easy for me to do my job and made it easy on your eyes. I mean, not that the subject matter was difficult in that regard anyway, but yeah. Generally speaking, stupid mole and heels and all, she looks very faithful to the on-screen representation. She strikes a fierce pose, almost like she's ready to parry, or maybe give someone an attitude because they didn't authorize a specific weapon. Anyway, her face has a rather calm expression to it with a gentle sort of smirk or a soft smile. This definitely does seem reserved, almost as if she might attack, or maybe she's happy. Who knows? But regardless, the paint application and the decal application is great here with no notable hiccups or issues of any kind, which is awesome. Yeah, even the mole looks okay. Nice and clean, which is definitely complemented by the hair. It's a perfected blonde coloration, which unfortunately the later released Figma does not necessarily have, with it being windswept off to her left side. The sculpt is as great as the paint, with individual pieces of the hair blowing in the wind, as best as they could get it at this scale and, in plastic format. The rest of the figure sculpted detail is awesome. Now, for those not familiar with the Zero suit, the purpose of it is essentially as a skin-tight suit to provide comfort while in the power suit. This suit also enables her to retain her ability to be super fast, since ditching the powerhouse of the Chozo armor results in her being basically defenseless. Max Factory did a tremendous job of capturing the skin-tight quality of the suit, for better or worse, and it does the design favors beyond that of the actual game. Now, keep in mind I'm emphasizing the skin-tight quality, and I need to make the connection of ad policies being family friendly, so I can't highlight all of the areas, but let's say, skin tight. Her paralyzer, stun gun, whatever term you want to use because you come from whatever part of the fandom, is held in her right hand and almost as if she's ready to draw it and stun some space pirates. If she were to just raise that up a little bit more, she would definitely cause some damage. Her left hand is on her hip, and for the love of all that is holy, no, you don't need to chop it off. They're both the same size, the left and right hands, they're fine. Calm down. Anyway, very long legs, though the right one looks a bit awkward depending on the angle you're looking at it. But again, it's all about how you look at it. So yeah, I'm not really necessarily seeing it. I do agree that the bend is a bit weird, but it's not a major issue for me. Now, Samus's feet plug into the Metroid Other M clear display base here. Well, it's as clear as it possibly can be. But the problem is you kind of have to spread her legs a bit to get the poles on the base into her feet, which is a bummer because it doesn't feel completely stable to me. But regardless, it works well enough. I don't think she's going to fall over on her own, but if something were to bump into the display cabinet, I don't know if she would survive. Now, of course, she is never alone. We get a Metroid baby. No, not da baby, but we get an infant Metroid to float alongside her. I think it looks a bit odd, but hey, I'll take it. Painted or decaled, whatever it may be, on the dome of the Metroid are veins which kinda, I feel do clash with the design a bit. That's just to me. It does look a bit jarring, but they did get the accuracy down, so points for that. One issue that I have with it, the pull for the Metroid, which does plug into the base, plugs into the Metroid in and of itself at a slight angle, and I'm never confident that it's attached properly. But once you do have it plugged in, boom, there you go. Another thing that's kind of frustrating is that mine has a loose fang out of the box, so that's not cool. One of the things that folks would probably want to know about is how this looks next to one of the 2-inch World of Nintendo Metroids, and I do have to say that even though the World of Nintendo Metroids are designed more so towards the more traditional Metroid look, more so the Metroid Prime design, I do have to say those look nicer, and at retail they're only $5 compared to this one that was included in an $85 or so package. Yeah, you be the judge, but I'm going to be honest with you here, a Metroid is a Metroid. Now to finish off the review, here is a size comparison with some other Metroid figures you might just have, alongside some other random figures that just might be on your shelf. So as you can see, this was, I believe, billed at a 1/8 scale figure. Is it true? I don't know, but here is just about how big she and the Metroid will be on your shelf. So, buy it now, skip, or wait for a deal. At about the $85 mark, I don't necessarily know if she's worth it. She is definitely awesome, but that is quite the price tag for something that is just going to be in a fixed pose sitting on your shelf. Now, if you come from the action figure world like I do, yeah, that is kind of a tough pill to swallow, but at the same time, if you are a fixed figure, statue collector, whatever you would prefer to call them, whatever your cup of tea is, then you know what? I would imagine that this is one of the perfect ones for you to get. And I do have to say that one thing to really keep in mind, especially if you're an action figure collector, as you can clearly see on the screen in front of you right now, sometimes a fixed figure, a statue, can definitely hold poses better than an action figure can. But then again, it depends on what that pose is. Overall, I do think this is a fantastic collectible that looks really, really nice, but it is going to be up in the air as to if you want this or not. If you are a die-hard Metroid fan and you love the Zero suit design, specifically from Other M, I would have to say chances are you already own this, and if you're on the edge, go ahead and get it. Otherwise, you may be just fine without this one. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links, like the credits for this video, and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.